taking the tradition of plein air painting, which is actually written quite heavily in art history, which is spelled Plein air. We thought of titling this exhibition Plein Air, Plain, as in this air that we walk into now that used to be we needed to wear a mask to move around in is now no longer a threat and can just welcome us in. So yet another reason to reemerge and to do so with confidence and to take a breath.
Plein air painting is about looking directly at nature for inspiration. It's about removing any kind of mediation, any kind of screen, whether that's literal or figurative, that gets between the artist's body and the landscape.
The collection of watercolors. These were all made on site on plein air painting dates, where I invite someone else to join me painting outdoors, and we sit side by side at a shared table sharing the view and conversation and materials. There's 50 watercolors from that, and they span the 4 years this project has been going, and it's ongoing. And I really love seeing the work, in all the different ways the artists who I'm sharing the gallery with are engaging with it, from kind of mediated space of the computer screen to the kind of banal daily routine of walking your dog, and how all of these different things are meaningful.
I began to take this landscape around me as the subject as the pandemic continued and went on and on. I ventured out, as did a lot of people, and so the project to focus on the most immediate things around me expanded slightly and began to include my neighborhood and the landscapes.
Generally, I go on short little road trips and kind of wander the coast or wander into different cities because my work is architectural. And with the lockdown, I was kind of confined to, a few block radius. So I started using my windows to compose still lifes and kind of assemble fragments from the neighborhood through the windows.
I love the process of plein air painting, but what I typically do is I'll plein air, go be outside, get some fresh air, because I think that the studio can really feel trapping to me sometimes. So I like to get my work done. I like to get my ideas and my sketches done in real life and then bring them into the studio to make them a little bit bigger.
What resonated with me when I was first presented with the sort of theme of the show was landscape, for one, because I've always dealt with landscape, but also the idea of plein air is going out into the world. And so the idea of this post-COVID world and being able to re-enter it in a way and go out and be out is one way that I read the theme of the show.
Each painting in the show follows a similar format where I've used photos of places that I've been to and painted them pretty faithfully to the actual location, and then superimposed an extra element onto the landscape to basically mark that I've been here and I've interacted with this space.
The blinds works came about in 2019. I started sort of moving away from working directly with architectural elements, or just kind of sidestepping it a little bit. And this was kind of the first work in that progression.
There's like a grid of work that's, I think it's 3x3 smaller 8x10 paintings that are arranged in a square. Those have all been made in 2020. And those were more kind of, I guess, relative to the idea of the show, which is kind of coming out of COVID, or things made within COVID and looking outwards.
I guess I was interested in seeing if a through line could be achieved across a really wide range of sensibilities when it came to the artists in the show. And that this intrinsic need to engage with nature would get processed in different forms and the wider they are from one another, the better. But that there might be some commonality between them as well.
If nature is the core and art is the translator of what that is for generations, the synergy between the two is, I think, in all of our experiences, essential.